if you see anyone that you feel is judging you, or you don't feel comfortable next to them no matter what you do, and this is more advice that I wish I could have given myself when I was 18, or to anyone out there that knows that they're doing wrong and they want to change, but they don't know where to start. My advice would be, you can never ever please the people around you. The moment you start thinking in that mindset where you'll get up and your most simple interaction with anyone, your family members, any family member, any friend, and you start adapting your actions and the way you talk into trying to please them, and you're constantly getting shut down, and you're constantly feeling unheard, or not seen, or not appreciated. Do not worry about it, because the moment you try, it's only going to make it worse for you. There is no perfect human. There is no perfect religious man. There isn't. We all have our mistakes. We all have our flaws. And if there's one main preach that I'm learning about religion from my experiences, evil doesn't come from God. Evil comes from humans. God doesn't bring evil upon us. We just need to open up our eyes and say to yourself, even if you don't believe in God, even if you don't pray, even if you're a person that swears or dresses a certain way, even if you have a past that you might be ashamed of or that's seen as shameful, it doesn't matter. Whatever you did, whatever you do, focus on changing your own habits. And wake up in the morning, for example, and let go of all worries of what anyone thinks about you. Oh, but my family said this and my friend said that. Let it go, don't worry about it. Because the way to strength and the way to keep yourself protected is to work on yourself. Ask yourself, what can I change about my behavior? And it starts with the most simple actions, where you'll be in your bedroom and the first action might be to drop the phone and make up your bed. Then you feel like you've accomplished something. Then you'll clean up your room, and then you'll feel happier. And then you'll take a shower and you'll feel more confident. The more confident you are within yourself, then the tables reverse. And when you go out anywhere and you're happy with yourself, then all those judgments, all that criticism, it doesn't affect you anymore. You learn to block it out. And as much as I've lived, and I'm not proud of that life and the things that I've done, no one has any right. I don't care if you've never ever touched drugs for 30, 40 years. I don't care if you've been on your religion for all your life and you haven't committed sin or done wrong. That's between you and God. But this doesn't give you the right in any way for anyone to ever feel like you're above anyone else. Because that's as dangerous, and if anything, a major sin in religion and going against God, because you're blind and you've deluded yourself into thinking that you're protected and that you're going to go to heaven, and your progress in life is enough to save you. Because if anything, when you pick up the Quran and read, it points out very clearly for hypocrites, and it says it very clearly that hypocrites, if anything, are the most dangerous, because they don't see their arrogance, they don't see their pride, and they are deluded into thinking that their good deeds are going to save them. And that's why there's this huge backlash with religion today. No one is ever safe. No one is ever above anyone else. And this idea of, if you're 20 years old, you must listen to a person that's 40 years old simply because they are older than you, that's a cultural belief. That's not a religious belief. You simply have to show your respect, and that's it. But this does not mean that the person older than you has any right to shut your views down, to undermine your achievements, to think that their years of achievement is better than yours. Zero right. Because there's a clear example in the Quran where the Prophet, the greatest man, the strongest man, the one that has brought Quran and Islam himself, sits down with a 15-year-old child, where that kid is crying because he lost his bird. And the Prophet has the mission to spread Islam and the religion to the whole world, and he puts everything aside, and he sits down with the child and he connects with that child and understands and has a conversation with him saying, I don't know what the exact conversation is, but he understands and says, yeah, but I can see why you're upset because your bird flew away. So if a prophet, and all prophets have acted this way, when you look into the Bible and all religions, if the prophets are so kind-hearted, where they can put everything aside and connect with every person's problem, whether there's many examples, whether they are sinners, whether they are non-believers, where they are against religion themselves, and they can put their guard down, and in terms where like they can put their position, their arrogance, their pride, not that they have any, but if the prophets act this way, who are you, or who's anyone, or who's me, who am I, to ever think that the person that has chosen to take drugs has zero rights and is completely useless in his views and his beliefs? If anything, that going back to that 15-year-old kid's example, if anything, the society, the people, the family, and the evilness in people brought that child where when he lost his friend, he decided that it's not worth living anymore. Because older people, or people that see themselves as religious, think and believe truly that they know everything, and everything that comes out of their mouth is gold. And it's pure truth, and there's no argument to it. And if you disagree, that's, you're felt like as an idiot. You're seen as an idiot. You're seen as an outcast. You're seen as a rebel. Brother, I have started smoking cigarettes at 15 as well. And I never ever gave a single fuck about anyone commenting that I smoke cigarettes. But I realized one thing: that hate, those comments, those judgments, the feeling superior because you didn't choose to smoke a cigarette your whole life, ended up with me in prison, because I was always asking the question why. I have no bad intentions against anyone. I stayed to myself. Why is everyone constantly picking on me? Why does everyone decide to judge me and hate me and point out my flaws and my mistakes? Because I'll tell you this, words carry an energy. Your words affect people. You could be smiling and cover your fake intentions and your fake arrogance and make yourself believe, oh, why do you smoke? It's not good for your health. Why are you asking that question? What's up to you? Is that question coming out of pure intentions? Or is that coming out of because you have never touched a cigarette your whole life. Is that the concern when you see me? When you see me, is that the only thing that you see? And I witnessed it my whole life, from 15 to 29. Because I was surrounded with people that don't smoke. And it starts, and when you go back, coming back to my example, it starts from that age where I don't realize it myself, saying what's happening, but it builds up, and then you end up all the way in prison. And same with the other side as well. They are so blind and so delusional at times because they have a straight life and they've chosen to only stick with people that, that makes them feel comfortable. Stick with people that only agree to their views and their life standards. And they think their little comments and their fake caring and intentions is to, help and to preach religion and, to save humanity. Because why? You're religious, right? You don't live that life, right? So it's okay if you can tell someone to quit smoking, to not do drugs. Have you ever sat down with me and had a proper conversation? Have you got to know me and the stuff and the life experience that I've been through? Listening to someone's problem and trying to understand where their pain is coming from is the hardest thing you can ever do. But people want to skip that step. Not to get to know anyone, they want to skip that whole step of connecting and trying to win that person's heart over. And they just want to go to the action and say, yeah, why, you should quit smoking. Brother, who the fuck are you to tell me to quit smoking? Who are you to try fixing my actions when you haven't even listened to one sentence? And focus on this. This is my advice for anyone that's younger, that's 18, that's starting out life fresh. Do not let anyone try to fix your mistakes and try to project their insecurities and their own ego and their own delusions onto you. If the person truly cares, they'll sit down, they'll listen to you, they'll try understanding where you're coming from. And the second part is, if a person truly has good intentions anyway, they don't have to try. You can understand if a person, especially for religion, if a person is practicing themselves, vibes and energy exists. You don't even have to try, you don't have to put on a show. You'll come, and I've met with people like this as well, where just being next to that person, you'll feel comfort, you'll feel ease, and you won't feel judged. Without any words, because you feel the good energy that's around them. But when it's someone that's never looked at themselves in the mirror, And there's many people, which is so obvious at times, they haven't even looked at their own mistakes. And you see, and I'm 29, and I've known people since the last 15 years. And 15 years later, you'll go to that same person and they'll say and act the exact same way that they've done 15 years ago. And then you realize that people like that have never looked at themselves in the mirror and faced their own insecurities and their own sins, and they haven't tamed their ego, and they haven't put themselves down. If anything, they fed their ego for years and years and years, into a point where they become blind into seeing how fake they are, because they chose to put that full stop. They've chose to say, this progress is enough for me to go and preach and tell people what to do. It's a daily struggle. It starts every single day. It starts every 24 hours, day to day. Not what you've done for the last 10 years, 15 years ago. If you're not waking up and you're not reflecting on yourself, on how can I be a better person? How can I fix my mistakes? How can I stop my ego feeding me? And with religion, it starts with practicing. If you're not picking up the book, if you're not reading, if you're not developing yourself, it's the same as going to the gym. You could go to the gym for 15 years and you will become very strong, right? Because you're training for 15 years. So when you go out into public, do you have to tell anyone that you're going to the gym? Do you have to even say it out loud? No. Because anyone that sees you will see your muscles, will see how much you've trained just by your looks. And people that you're trying to preach health and gym related topics will automatically know, without even you saying a word, saying, yeah, like obviously this guy is talking truth. But now think of it the other way around. Think of a person that's gone to the gym for, let's say, 5 years, and then 15 years later, in that 15 years, they haven't really trained much, bare minimum, or they haven't trained at all. And then after that 15 years, they come up to you and they say, hey, this is what you should do when you go to the gym. And they say, I know because I trained 15 years ago. I used to lift and bench press 100 kilos 15 years ago. So try bench pressing 100 kilos, because I did it 15 years ago, so you should do it as well. You turn around and be like, what the fuck are you talking about, you delusional cunt? Right? You'll be like, what are you talking about? You'll be like, are you okay? Or are you blind, or are you crazy? Same goes with ego, the same goes with energy, with words, with actions, with character. If you're not training your ego and you're not training your self-discipline day to day, you can talk as much as you want and it will have zero effect, because what you're saying has no strength to back it up. It's just words, just empty words. They don't carry a presence, they don't carry an importance. And that's why you can't win hearts over, or you can't try getting through to people, because you're trying to skip the training, you're trying to skip the queue. And that's why words automatically will come out like, oh, did you leave smoking yet? Oh, when did you come out of prison? Are you still doing drugs? You know, and all these personal detailed questions will come. What's it to you? Have I come next to you or acted violent? Do you see me high on drugs? Do you see any sort of threat from me? What do you feel from me right now in this present moment? And it comes to a point where it goes back to where you can't please everyone. It'll come to such a point where even the people that you've known for the last 15, 20 years, and they'll still feel uncomfortable. Even if even if I've left the drugs and I've learnt my lesson and I've outgrown my experiences, I've reflected, and I clearly saying, stay away from drugs. Everything that I've done is my fault. I don't promote it, I don't preach it, I understand my mistakes. And then it'll come to a point where these people your whole life that have been telling you what to do, that might even could be one of the reasons why you even ended up in that position. It'll come to such a point where they'll still feel uncomfortable by your presence. And then they'll have nothing to pick on, because they'll see, for example, you're praying and you've left all your bad habits behind, and then they'll start picking on the tiniest stuff. They'll start saying, oh, you're gonna quit smoking now. Oh, what about your piercing? Or what, you dress in such a way. And it'll get even deeper. Their discomfort will go so deep where they'll do anything and everything in their power to get a reaction out of you, because they know that you've changed so much and you've outgrown. So it'll come with fake compliments. Oh, you look so confident. Oh, you look, you look so happy. I see so much change in you. And then when you don't give a reaction because you truly understand that you're doing it for yourself and you're doing it to please God and not to please anyone else, that will make them go nuts. And then the questions will get deeper and deeper. How much money do you owe? Did you find a job? Or they'll start, trying to act friendly. Oh, don't worry about prison and your life experiences. Leave it behind. Oh, I hope you closed your debt, and I hope you find a job. Oh, don't get upset, it's okay. It's like, brother, I'm perfectly fine the way I am. Why are you panicking? If anything, my calmness and my peace is making you feel uncomfortable. Because now I'm doing it for myself and for God only, not for anyone else, not to make you happy. And the questions will get deeper and deeper and so personal, and they'll come back to back. 10 questions at once, just to get a simple reaction out of you. Because the people that know you, they'll be like, oh, I know this guy, he used to rage and be, so explosive, and he used to flip it, and he used to be so angry, 5 years ago or 10 years ago, whenever it was. The people that know you around you will truly try to get a reaction out of you and try to bring your old self and your old habits and sit there and say, oh, let me see if he's going to rage this time, let me see. And the moment you do it, then they'll sit there in confront, they'll be like, yeah, see, I told you he hasn't changed. I knew the drugs had a bad effect on him. See, he's getting angry again. See, he's screaming again. See, here's the problem. So this is the other side that people don't see. Do not let anyone gaslight you. The best way to keep away and find who is actually true, who has good intentions, and who has bad intentions, just stay silent. And this goes to your family members as well, to anyone around you. Just stay silent. And if you see someone appreciating that you're not reacting, if they're a true genuine person, they'll feel it and they'll be like, yeah, you know what, I understand. And then they'll kind of lower their way of approach, and they'll say, I'll try connecting with this person if they truly love you and respect you, which there are people like that. But the ones that don't have good intentions against you, that feel uncomfortable, they're the ones that'll panic and try their best to get a reaction out of you. And then you'll decide who's genuine and who's out there to just feed their own ego and to make themselves feel better. But my main focus and idea from all of this just focus on yourself. This goes for everyone. I have to focus on my mistakes, and this is the reason why my intention to make this page was to reach out to everyone. And I sit down there and I look at my last video and I literally say to myself, this is where I acted arrogant. This is where I spoke out of ego. I focused on politics. I focused on stuff that don't matter. And I'll approach my next video reflecting on my actions and myself as much as I can. And I'll still have mistakes, and I'll still have people that'll find something to disagree with, which is okay, which is fine. I'm happy with that. You don't try to force your views and your opinions on anyone. Speak your truth. Focus on yourself. This goes for both sides, for the people that have chosen to do drugs, for the people that have chosen to not believe in God and to not practice, for the people that have chosen to dress a certain way. Focus on yourself. And this also goes for the people that have made progress in their life, and let's just say, in words, better choices than others, where they haven't chosen to do any drugs, they haven't chosen to dress a certain way because it's against it looks dangerous, or it's against religion, or it's not appropriate. You focus on yourself as well. You've made accomplishments. Continue your accomplishments. Try going even further. We all know the answer. It is very, very easy for everyone to say no to drugs and violence. But who's out here actually trying to get to the bottom of the topic and trying to see both sides? Just the way you'll explain to a kid that's growing up on the whys and the no's and the yes of what for life. And you have to explain to them, you have to preach to them saying, look, you shouldn't do this because it's dangerous. And unfortunately, you'll still get adults that won't even do that to a 5-year-old child. They'll just say no and walk away. You've now put on your insecurities and your own ego and your own anger. You've dumped your shit energy onto that child. And then 15 years later, or 20 years later, when that child starts to act out to the extreme where they're high on drugs and it goes all the way to crime and committing suicide, don't sit there and ask yourself, what did I do wrong? You know, everyone knows in themselves if they're acting out of arrogance or if they're truly trying to connect. And if you've dumped your shit energy and your insecurities, and clearly you know that you can't even be fucked listening to that person, and you just want to say no and cut it out and walk away, then don't be surprised if that family member or if that friend or cousin or whoever it is has one day decided to stay away from you and to cut complete contact with you. Because clearly you know what you're doing. And I could do the same as well. I could go walk out on the street and see, I don't know, a homeless person or a person that's on drugs. Because I've outgrown that experience. Right now I know better. Or to anyone, if I see a 15-year-old child, I'm not married, I don't have any children, but if I'm in a family gathering and I see children coming around, and if I see, him or her saying, oh look, I made this, and they start engaging conversation with me, and I give them even a little dirty look or just bad energy, and I just ignore it, I know what I'm doing. I've now dumped my shit energy and my vibes onto an innocent child. But it doesn't matter how far of my progress I come to and what my age is, whether it's a 15-year-old kid, innocent kid, or an 18-year-old teenager, or a 25-year-old, I will never, ever, ever sit there and think that I'm above that person simply because of my age and my experiences. Because that's when I will lose. That's when I will become a fake person. That's when I will feel superior. And unfortunately, you get people that won't act like that towards their own children. They won't. You get parents, you get adults that know if they act like that towards their own child, that child's going to grow cold to them. So what they'll do is they'll act really kind to the young ones and, try really connecting with them and become a completely different person. But then they think that it's okay. Let's say you're 40 years old, they think that it's okay to do it to a 20-year-old, someone that's younger to them. It is never ever okay. No matter what age, no matter how much life experience you have, no matter where your progress is, the moment you don't see yourself as equals and you don't train your ego day to day and you think that you're above anyone else, is the moment you've lost. And that's where religion and that's where preach starts, before anything, before any prayer, before any sin, before getting into any other complicated topics. And you see the scholars, the ones that have started any religious movement, the actual scholars that have started it, preach this, you see this. But unfortunately, just the way you might see Islam, the religion preaches these topics, the scholar preaches these topics, but unfortunately you see people twist it and misuse it and make it personal. And what happens is you get an outlook. You give a religion a bad name. And people on the outside look and be like, nah, I don't want anything got to do with religion. Because all they feel is politics and control and manipulation. They don't feel a warmth to it. And again, there's good and bad. My aim isn't politics. My aim is to just reach out to everyone and state my views and my opinions, because no one can tell me that I can't talk about my own life experiences. These are my life experiences. This is my opinion. And you're more than welcome to agree or disagree. If anything, you should disagree and challenge everything that I say. Don't take everything as it is. Take the goods and the bads. Question it. If anything, that would make me happy. Because I'm not the one that's in control of your life. No one is. God controls all affairs. We simply just focus on ourselves and try preaching the truth. The rest is up to God. It's not our business to try getting into other people's personal lives. I'm happy with myself. I'm happy to always reflect on my own insecurities, on my own mistakes, on my own sins. And I continue my day. And if anything, that's going to make you stronger. What others do or how other people react or how they perceive things isn't my business. I'm not here for politics. I'm here to express my life experiences and the things that I've been through, and to reach out, even if it's that one person that can feel happy seeing this video, and they can get some self-confidence and learn something that I'm trying to preach and share. That's always been my intention. For the person out there that may be on drugs, in their car, crying, feeling like they're going to end it all, feeling like they're not heard or seen, or they're not appreciated, and this video comes across and they decide to try again, that's it. I'm happy. It'll make me happy in the way where I'll feel like I've accomplished something for myself, not in the way where I changed that person's life or I made it happen. My day goes on, my life goes on. I'll always look into my own actions and try focusing on myself and try pushing even further and further. Because if there is any sort of goodness that comes from this video, it's not from me, it's from God. I can't take credit for that. I just open up the video and I'll talk. Like the actual guidance, the actual goodness, all goodness comes from God and all evil comes from humans. That's all for today. Thank you for listening. For anyone out there that's listened, I appreciate it. Stay strong and keep pushing. Hopefully I'll try to make more content as it comes. I'll take it slow, I'll take it day by day. And I'll see you on episode 3.